So, on the same day that the Trump administration, when Donald Trump ordered the assassination of one of the top Iranian generals, Qasem Soleimani, in Baghdad, Iraq, the U.S. government was also trying to assassinate another one of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps leaders, but this time in Yemen. And this is a article by Common Dreams that's talking about that. So, completely lawless president. Trump reportedly tried to kill another top Iranian commander, same day as Soleimani. The Trump administration reportedly tried and failed to assassinate a senior Iranian military official in Yemen on the same day it killed General Qasem Soleimani with a drone strike in Baghdad last week, nearly sparking a full-blown regional war. The Washington Post reported Friday that U.S. troops carried out a top-secret mission targeting Abdul Reza Shalia, a high-level commander of Iran's Quds force. According to the Post, the U.S. launched a strike against Shalia in Yemen, but it was unsuccessful for unknown reasons. According to the Post, the Trump administration views Shalia as a particularly potent adversary. The State Department offered a $15 million reward last month for information leading to Shalia and the disruption of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' financial mechanisms. The announcement said that Shalia is based in Yemen and has a, quote, long history of involvement in attacks targeting the U.S. and our allies, including the 2001 plot against the Saudi ambassador at an Italian restaurant in Washington. Critics said the Post reporting undermines the Trump administration's claim that it assassinated Soleimani due to an imminent threat to American interests and indicates the general's killing was part of what was meant to be a far more sweeping effort to damage the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Quote, this suggests a mission with a longer planning horizon and a larger objective, and it really does call into question why there was an attempt to explain this publicly on the basis of an imminent threat. End quote. Susan Maloney, an Iran scholar at the Brookings Institution think tank, told the Post. And then these are some people on Twitter. Alex Emmons. This operation had succeeded. How was this administration going to claim that the IRGC commander in Yemen, of all places, was an imminent threat to Americans? Indeed. Obviously that's why this particular figure, the Shalia, the Quds commander that the U.S. had tried to assassinate in Iran but was unsuccessful, they obviously didn't want to, bring this particular story to the light because, as Alex here points out on Twitter, that it would totally destroy their narrative that Soleimani was assassinated because he posed an imminent threat to U.S. interests in the area, I should say, because then you have Shalia, the U.S. trying to assassinate Shalia in Yemen when the U.S., I believe, doesn't have any type of bases or presence there or anything like that. So it obviously, completely torpedoes the message that Trump and the State Department and just the administration in general have been trying to claim. But I mean, it needs to be pointed out as many times as we can that Soleimani was in Iraq at the time, basically on a peace mission, trying to ease tensions between his country, Iran, and Saudi Arabia, and Iraq and the Iraqi prime minister. They were playing the mediator role, in these talks, and Trump actually knew about these talks and encouraged the Iraqi prime minister to help facilitate those. So it's all a complete lie and fabrication. And the Wall Street Journal and New York Times, reported in the last couple of days that Trump actually had told some close associates or advisors that he had assassinated Soleimani and ordered that in order to shore up some support during his impeachment trial from certain GOP and Republican senators that he thought they would support him more during the Senate impeachment trial if he took a more hardline stance towards Iran. So everything that the Trump administration and the State Department and Trump himself have said about Iran and the Soleimani assassination has been complete and just utter BS. And if you believe that, I have some nice swampland that I would like to sell you. The Post reported that the strikes on Soleimani and Shalia were approved at, at around the same time, but the latter was not disclosed because it did not go according to plan. One senior official told the Post that Shalia may be targeted in the future. So, again, the Trump administration and his Defense Department are already saying they're willing, and ready to commit more extrajudicial assassinations in the future against another leader of Iran's Quds force. If we had killed him, we'd be bragging about this at the same time, another official told the Post, referring to the night the U.S. assassinated Soleimani. I mean, just how sick is that? Just to be saying if you had killed this person that you'd be bragging about it, and I'm sure they would because they were bragging about killing Soleimani. But those are the type of people that get in those positions of power, willing to say and do anything to advance their careers. News of an attempted second U.S. strike comes after legal experts and members of Congress condemned the assassination of Soleimani as a violation of both U.S. and international law. On Thursday night, the House of Representatives passed a war powers resolution aimed at barring Trump from taking military action against Iran without congressional approval. But again, if the Democrats, the Democratic leadership in particular in the House of Representatives, like people like Nancy Pelosi and the other blue dog centrist Democrats, they didn't need to pass the 2019 Defense Authorization Act because it originally had some legislation in there that would have barred Trump from using any type of funds to start a war or any type of conflict with Iran without congressional approval first. I believe it would also remove the AUMF that allowed the U.S. to start the war and occupation of Iraq in 2003. But of course, the Democrats caved in and they took out those measures. I think that Ro Khanna had added to that Defense Authorization Act. And so they got out those things that could have stopped Trump from, assassinating Soleimani in the first place. And now they're having to go back and revise, this stuff to try to make sure there's some type of, protections in place that don't allow Trump from any type of further escalation against Iran in Iraq or otherwise. But again, it's the Democrats are never really willing to, stand up and take a principled position when it really matters. And then something horrible like Trump being able to assassinate Soleimani happens. And then oh, well, I guess, yeah, we shouldn't have gave him the ability to do that. Now, should we? It's the Democrats really just put up, a faux resistance because when it really matters, when these really important votes matter, they more often than not just cave in to the more centrist and neoliberal members of the Democratic party, and they allow and they pass Trump's military bill and give him his space force and close to $800 billion and allow him to do things like that. So again, it's just a faux resistance. Let's see, what did Bernie say? Quote, Congress has not authorized military action against Iran. Wait, no, Matt Duss, foreign policy advisor for Bernie Sanders, tweeted in response to the Post story, this is a completely lost president. It does seem that way. Rep. Ro Khanna, the Democrat of California, a vocal critic of Trump's administration's hawkish Iran policy, said, quote, Congress needs answers to serious questions raised by the new reporting. What was the full extent of the Trump administration's plan to kill an Iranian official? Khanna tweeted, how does the attempted killing in Yemen have anything to do with the imminent threat? It obviously doesn't. And as I said earlier in the video, Wall Street Journal and New York Times reported that Trump associate had told them that Trump had ordered the assassination of Soleimani, and now I would say that this other um, Quds leader that they tried to assassinate in Yemen was for that same reason, is that Trump thought he needed to shore up more support among GOP senators for his Senate impeachment trial, and he thought by taking a more hard line towards Iran that would help him do that and bolster his support among those GOP senators. Now, I don't necessarily think he actually needed to do that, because I'd be very surprised if any of the Republican senators voted to convict him, but that's what he thought he needed to do. And again, Trump is willing to say and do anything to protect his power, to stay in power, and he's just very self-serving and narcissistic and willing to start potential wars to protect himself. Not surprising, but still very disturbing. So we will see what comes of this, but definitely a lawless president, for sure. Share your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Peace down there somewhere. And help me get to 100 subscribers, because once I do, I will take a polar plunge, and my daughter will as well, in a local river. And it's currently winter here in the Pacific Northwest, so it would be quite chilly, and we would document it and share it with you. She says it would be freezing, so help us get there. Peace.